hope you're having a great day and I hope you had a great weekend. Well, I just got back from New York City and I was in several conferences and meetings with doctors, and we were talking about common problems. Like one of the most common problems that people are facing now today is after you've gotten COVID, if you got COVID, there's extreme fatigue. This could be for people who are even asymptomatic. You're tired all the time, you don't feel like working out, and then a lot of people start pushing themselves to work out thinking that maybe if I start working out I'll feel better, but they actually feel worse. We have a lot of people who are going through cardiac arrests and even heart attacks. Some of them are fatal. And the point is, we don't have to worry, but we need to understand how COVID is affecting us at a cellular level. So while we all think it's a virus, yes, it is a virus and it causes a cold in some people, it isn't your simple cold, it isn't your simple flu. This is a respiratory condition that causes mitochondrial dysfunction. Let me simplify that for you, because the important part is to understand what is going on in your body. Because we have so many people from around the world who are taking consult after consult asking us, look, why am I feeling this way? What's wrong? I checked my vitamin D3 levels, they're okay. I'm taking more vitamin D3, I'm still tired. Let me make you understand what your mitochondria is and what a dysfunction can cause. Because this dysfunction, forget about just COVID, it is one of the leading causes to other conditions and diseases, including neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, that may not be in your interest right now if you're young, but as you age, you start to have these problems. It's also related to cancers, to diabetes, and to every condition. Why? Because your mitochondria are the power cells of the human body. Ever realized or ever wondered where you get all this energy from? Energy to walk, energy to swim, energy to dance, energy to eat, energy to recover from a disease. You know, you're constantly producing energy. You think, oh, I eat a carbohydrate, it breaks down into energy. Yes, it does. How? Mitochondria. These are like little factories found in every single cell of your body. These little factories make energy from the air that you breathe. It takes oxygen. It takes the nutrients from the food that you eat. And the mitochondria breaks this down to produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's your energy molecule. Now, ATP is what gives you energy. If you don't have enough of ATP, you're dead, because the body cannot store ATP. Your body can store fat, but your body cannot store ATP. It has to constantly make ATP for energy. So what happens when these power cells, when these little factories are corrupted? We can't produce the right amount of energy. If we can't produce the right amount of energy, what happens? Number one, we're fatigued. No matter how much we sleep, how well we eat, how we may exercise and move, we will still feel fatigued because we cannot produce the right amount of ATP. And in fact, when we are producing ATP, to produce energy, to produce anything, there's always a waste product, right? You know that, right? Whether you go into a restaurant and the waiter presents you your food, you need to understand to make that food, there was some amount of wastage. There is always wastage to produce something. So when your cells are producing energy, there is also wastage. What is that wastage? Carbon dioxide, water, and free radicals. This is normal. The point is, if there's too much of wastage, we have an excess of carbon dioxide, which further lowers down our energy levels. We know that. How do you know? It's simple. Take a deep breath and hold the breath for however long you can. You're building up more carbon dioxide in your system. That can actually make you feel drowsy once you release the breath. So when I'm producing more of the waste, which is carbon dioxide, water, and free radicals. Free radicals are not bad for us. They help us repair tissues. But when it's too much, it creates chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of all disease. So now coming back to your mitochondria. Your mitochondria just doesn't play a role in producing energy. And this is where your immune system comes in. Your mitochondria and your immune system are directly connected with each other. Your mitochondria helps maintain homeostasis of a cell, which means good health and normalcy in a cell. Homeostasis. Everything is going well. Signals are sent to the body that everything is going well in this cell. I'm good. Now the point is, when you're out of homeostasis, maybe there's an infection, there's a virus, there's a cancer in the cell that has removed you from homeostasis. Now your mitochondria has the potential to self-destruct and kill itself before the virus really affects you or before that cancer becomes a full-fledged cancer. So you see, your mitochondria has the ability and intelligence to even protect you. through cell proliferation, through cell apoptosis, which is self-destruction or self-death. And again, let's say there's a virus that enters your body right now, okay? Your mitochondria can communicate with your immune system through a system called interferons. Interferons are communicators. So these are proteins that tell the mitochondria, you've been infected by a virus. You've been infected by a germ. There is a cancer growing in your cell. Self-destruct. That is how we live. There are cells in you and me right now that are killing themselves all the time to protect us. Now, what happens if you have a problem with the mitochondria? You have a problem with all of this communication. You have a problem with your immune system because of a breakdown in communication. You have a problem with energy. So what happens with COVID? The virus affects the mitochondria. And because it disrupts the mitochondria, there are several cells which are self-destructing, okay? And you have less ATP for energy. Now in my body or your body, we will find your cells that have more mitochondria are in areas like the heart. There's a muscle, because there's a muscle which is constantly working. In your biceps, in your back, the largest muscles in your body will have most of the mitochondria because there is an energy demand. In the parts of the body that doesn't require so much of energy, you will find lesser mitochondria. You will still have mitochondria in every cell. So now this virus that has affected most people, even if you're asymptomatic, has caused mitochondrial dysfunction. And because you have mitochondrial dysfunction, don't get scared. That's not a disease. We're going to learn what causes mitochondrial dysfunction when the virus hits it. Okay, so number one, understand that 70% of your ATP, adenosine triphosphate, your energy is stored in the brain and used by the brain. It's not stored, sorry, that's a mistake. It's used by the brain. 70% of your ATP used by your brain. So what happens if you have a mitochondrial dysfunction? That is why people have neurodegeneration, cognitive brain decline, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, all of this, slow brain death, issues with the brain, tumors because the brain doesn't have enough of ATP because you have a mitochondrial dysfunction and you cannot produce sufficient ATP. 70% required by the brain. And that's why a lot of people feel brain fog. They can't focus. They're tired all the time. They can't concentrate. Why? Mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, what causes mitochondrial dysfunction besides a viral attack, a germ, or a cancer? Nutritional deficiency, number one. So yes, correcting your nutritional deficiencies is going to play a huge role in your energy levels coming back and you repairing your mitochondria. We'll break into that deeper. Environmental toxins. The more you're exposed to BPAs, pollution, toxins, plastics, all of your parabens, your SLAs and your creams, and all of that exposure is leading to mitochondrial dysfunction. Oxidative damage. What is oxidative damage? Again, too many free radicals because of inflammation. Inflammation caused by sleep deprivation, refined oils, white sugars, foods that have loads and loads of chemicals and preservatives. All of this causes leakage of oxygen and high energy electrons from your mitochondria. Your mitochondria cannot make sufficient energy when there's a leakage of oxygen. We learned in the first part of the video that we need oxygen. That's raw material for the mitochondria to make ATP, like you need nutrients from the food that you eat. That's raw material for the mitochondria to make ATP and energy. So if I'm leaking oxygen, I do not have the raw material to create energy, which brings us to the importance of breathing and making sure that we do our deep breathing every single day and that we're breathing the right way. What else causes mitochondrial dysfunction? If you're on a statin, okay, if your doctor's put you on a statin and has not put you on a selenium and a CoQ10, you are going to have mitochondrial dysfunction, period. Statins is a whole different subject. I'm not here to tell you whether I agree with it or not. But what I don't agree with the fact is that there are millions of people out there on statins. Number one, most of them don't need it. And let's say you decided to take it and your doctors put you on it. If you are not taking a CoQ10 enzyme supplement and a selenium, what is happening? You're depleting CoQ10, which is required by your mitochondria for energy. That's why a lot of patients on statins start to have pigmentation in skin, low energy levels as they keep taking it, tremors in their hands sometimes, confusion, brain fog. That is the side effect of a statin being taken the wrong way. So CoQ10, if it gets depleted, you need it for mitochondrial function and for energy. Okay, so one was statins. Number two, excessive alcohol damages your mitochondria, period. How? It depletes a chemical called NADH. NADH can be found in foods and supplements, and it is needed for ATP. It is needed for ATP. So if you're binge drinking alcohol, you're drinking alcohol when you just finished and recovering from COVID, you are further putting stress on your body and energy levels by depleting NADH. So I don't have a problem with alcohol. I have a problem with people who abuse it, who misuse it, who drink it in excess and cause physical harm. My 96-year-old patients and 92 years old have a peg of whiskey every single day, and they are way healthier than most people at our age. The problem is not alcohol. The problem is the person behind the bottle and the time that you're taking it. If you're recovering from antibiotics, you're recovering from surgery, you're recovering from medication, you're recovering from COVID, you cannot be drinking alcohol at that point. I'm sorry, fix it. That's your emotional void and your addiction that you need to fix. But you cannot expect your energy levels to get better if you're drinking alcohol, because you are depleting NADH that is required for ATP. Sometimes severe antibiotic courses will deplete and cause mitochondrial dysfunction, so you gotta rebuild it. Chemo and radiation, again, will have a direct impact on mitochondria, which is why patients lose weight and feel tired, which is why when you're going through chemotherapy or radiation, it is so important for you to work on a protocol for mitochondrial function, because there is a dysfunction. And of course, the overuse of recreational drugs will also lead to mitochondrial dysfunction. So now, how do we fix it? Let's get straight into solution mode. Try to decrease your toxin exposure. Now, let's say you're living in a state where the pollution levels are high. All the more reason for you to build your lung health, your liver health, your kidney health, and stay away from more toxins. If you're a smoker smoking in a polluted area, it's worse for you, because now you have a double whammy of toxins coming into you. My point is, limit toxin exposure from the junk food that you eat, to the chemicals in your food, preservatives, the kind of cookware you use, refined oils, creams, lipsticks, hair dyes, aftershaves, whatever it is. The more chemicals it has, all of that is being absorbed into your system, and it is affecting your mitochondria. Limit your junk. Move from refined oils to cold pressed or wood churned oils. This is so important. Yes, it costs more money, but health is an investment. It is not a cost. Build muscle. The more muscle you have, it becomes preventive. Muscle isn't just looking good. Muscle looks after our bones, our mitochondria, because remember what I said, the more muscle I have, the more cells that contain mitochondria and those little factories that build energy automatically increases in my body. So of course, if you're recovering from COVID and you're fatigued right now, maybe you're not exercising, that's okay. But that's a tip for everyone. Prevention is better than cure. Build muscle. So if you ever get sick, your muscle is going to help you and your immune system and every part of you. So build lean muscle and muscle tone. So CoQ10. Where will I find CoQ10 besides a supplement? Everything I speak about today can be found in supplements, and supplements will be used professionally and given to you professionally depending on how bad your situation is. But till then, every supplement I talk to you about, you can get it from foods as well. So CoQ10, which will increase your energy and remove you out of fatigue because it gives your mitochondria what you need. Where are you going to find it? If you're a meat eater, you're going to find it in organ meat. You're going to find it in chicken, you're going to find it in red meat and fish. If you're vegetarian, you're going to find it in all of your cruciferous vegetables. That's your broccolis, your kales, your cauliflower, your cabbage, your radish, your mustard. You're going to find it in spinach. Two powerful fruits, oranges and strawberries. You're going to find it in your legumes like your rajmas, your chanas, your nuts and seeds, specifically pistachios. You're going to find CoQ10 then, so make sure that you can add some of these foods into your diet. Then we have alpha lipoic acid and L-carnitine. Both of these, again, are powerful because they help you transport energy from your fat into your bloodstream, giving you energy. Now, where do you find alpha lipoic acid? You'll find it in spinach, you'll find it in meats, crucifers, and cooked tomatoes. L-carnitine, again, in red meat, fish, crucifers, chicken, all the beans, all of your legumes, avocados, and ethically sourced dairy. So you see, a lot of this you do get in natural form, but like I said, if it's a very severe case, you need to professionally get prescribed the supplement variety, because that will give you much more and it'll work better for your mitochondria to work. What do you find in wine? What's that powerful ingredient that you find in wine? And a lot of people justify drinking wine because of this one powerful ingredient. So that ingredient, okay, is found also. You don't have to do wine because we're trying to cut down alcohol if we're recovering from COVID. You can find it in grapes, you can find it in peanuts, you can find it in dark chocolate, 70% and above. You can find it in cacao, you can find it in cranberries, pistachios. All of these foods contain resveratrol. So resveratrol is fantastic again for ATP and mitochondrial dysfunction. Now we come to the next one, which is N-acetylcysteine, commonly known as NAC. You can get it in a supplement, but you can also get it in your food. Why is it so important? Because it increases intracellular glutathione. Glutathione can improve energy at a cellular level. But for glutathione to work, you need NAC. NAC is found in, again, all meats, onions, all your cruciferous vegetables, and all of your legumes. So you see, the foods I'm talking about are common foods that we should be eating on a day-to-day basis. Of course, if you're vegetarian, don't eat the meat. So NAC is very, very important. All these ingredients, these nutrients I'm talking about is what your mitochondria needs. Without this, your mitochondria struggles to make energy. It's as simple as that. Then we have vitamin E. So vitamin E is found in supplement form or sunflower seeds, almonds, peanuts, beetroot, spinach, pumpkin, red bell peppers. There you go. You can have a natural source of vitamin E. Vitamin E is very protective of the cell membrane of a mitochondria. So if I'm deficient in vitamin E, my cell membranes cannot protect the mitochondria, and oxidation or oxidative stress can destroy it. And finally, NADH. That's the nutrient I spoke about, that if you're drinking too much of alcohol, you deplete NADH. And because you deplete NADH, you have less energy and you feel fatigued. Your hangovers are worse. Your entire next day is spoiled, low energy levels because of the depletion of NADH. For NADH to be produced in the body, we need vitamin B3. Where do we find all of this? Again, exercising is the easiest way to produce NADH. Go for a walk. If you're very fatigued, I understand. I'm not advising you to do strenuous exercises. That's where all the cardiac arrests and the heart attacks are happening. You're fatigued, your mitochondria dysfunction, and you are trying to slam your body with intensive workouts. It is going to work against you. But yoga, walking, listening to your body, very light exercise is going to help you recover faster, because exercise will produce NADH. You'll also find NADH in your crucifers, your B vitamins. That's why we would prescribe a B complex for every single one of our COVID patients. Again, because you need the B3 from a B complex to help you with NADH. You'll find it in whole grains, fish, mushrooms, and all of your green vegetables. So you see, if you're actually having a balanced diet, you're already getting what you need, which is why a lot of people with COVID, who have gotten COVID, who eat balanced food, mostly don't go through the fatigue that other people do. Okay, now the last important one is magnesium. Without magnesium, ATP cannot be made. You cannot have energy in the body produced without magnesium. So besides supplements, you find magnesium in pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, peanuts, dark chocolate, cacao, black beans, avocado. Simple, common foods. Exercising, let's talk about that. If you are over-exercising when you're fatigued, your recovery time is going to be worse. Your inflammation in the body is going to be worse. Period. You're at a phase in your life where you got COVID, you have fatigue, mitochondrial dysfunction. You gotta take it easy. Trying to be a hero and push yourself is only gonna cause more problems and even fatalities. So you need to understand that you cannot over-exercise. Keep your doctor in a loop, listen to your intuition. Your body will tell you when it's okay to start slowly increasing the intensity of your workouts. Sleep. If you're sleep deprived and you have a mitochondrial dysfunction, you know what's going to happen by now. You would have figured it out. Because when we're sleep deprived, we anyway produce more oxidation, oxidative stress, and inflammation in the body. It's a double whammy, sleep deprivation and fatigue post-COVID. So you want to make sure that you're sleeping and resting and hydrating. Water intake has to be good. If you're dehydrated, mitochondrial dysfunction. And of course, I'll end it with the impact of chronic stress. The more stress you have, the more inflammation you have. And by now, you would have figured out the connection between inflammation, your mitochondria, energy, and everything else. So that mitochondria, why I explained it in detail, I could have given you the foods that are required, because now you know that you can relate every disease that exists on this planet with a mitochondrial dysfunction. So while you fix your disease with allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, nutrition, if you are not considering a fundamental function of mitochondrial dysfunction and a protocol to correct it, it is very difficult for you to really recover with speed and keep it sustainable. That is the importance of mitochondria. A lot of people have mitochondrial dysfunction, not just because of COVID, because of lifestyle, poor food habits. You cannot produce energy. So all the stimulants in the world like coffee and tea will help you feel good for as long as the stimulant works. After that, you're going to have a crash of energy and you're going to feel horrible. You can't feel good when you're fatigued. So my point to you is, now that you've understood this, you can make small changes by adding these foods. If you're really suffering, take professional help and get the supplements added the right way into your diet, into your lifestyle, and you will start to feel better. You don't want your mitochondrial function just to work because you had COVID. You want it to work for longevity, metabolic health, anti-aging, better skin, better hair, and to feel good about yourself. A lot of people say today, oh, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, what do I do? Just look after your mitochondria. Your body look after you. Have a great week, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.